Welcome back to the debrief, where movie night has everyone in their feels. I'm Tony.
I'm Yaz.
And I'm Shakira, and that was a tough episode for Jasmine.
Yeah, she's going through it in there right now. I feel like her and Cav are just on completely different pages, and it's not getting resolved after seeing all those clips.
I think the reason why she was so upset, I think it's a case of Cav obviously told her that he was getting to know Charlene, but I think it was even worse for her watching it in 4K when I think the way she was comparing it was with her and Jordan, she didn't kiss him, she didn't share a bed with him, there was no cuddling, no nothing. And with Cav, obviously, his chats with can't even say her name. His chats with Charlene were very, very flirty. He was saying, "Oh, where have you been for the last 4 weeks?" And that's not nice to see.
When it's in front of your face, it's harder. I experienced this after class. I was like, oh, I don't give a fuck. But then when you have to see it happening in front of you and watching back movie night and the evidence, it all just makes it so much worse. I feel for her.
Yeah, I definitely feel for her, but I think your post-Casa...
Oh, it was worse.
Yeah, but also it wasn't related to you, whereas I do think Cav was pretty honest with what had happened. There was nothing surprising there. I think it was just a case of it's hard to watch. But I think Cav felt like he was being hard done to because he'd been so honest. He'd held his hands up. I found a connection. I did kiss. I'm sorry, I've been accountable for that. But he was upset because there was things that he'd just found out about, and everyone was dismissing that.
The thing is, Cav could tell everybody whatever he wanted to. The girls were kind of right. It's those little things, like hearing, where have you been for the last 4 weeks? That's the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, I think it's a case of as well as after everything happened, he wasn't really, he wasn't really comforting her. He wasn't reassuring her. He had sort of just left her to it. We saw obviously Lorenzo and the girls comforting her. And then he was obviously chatting to Charlene on the terrace. They were obviously, there is something there between them. Their chats are flirty. There is a spark there still. I think if there wasn't, then they wouldn't just naturally be drawn to each other.
One of the big things in this episode was that the girls were backing the girls during movie night and then the boys were backing the boys, but they were getting shit for it.
Yeah, I think it was a case of because Jazz was crying during those clips and it wasn't just a little tear rolling down the cheek. I think she was crying so much she couldn't speak. So I think it was a case of the girls obviously are really close knit in there, and I think they were sort of having to be her voice. But I think and I think it's a thing of just because Cav wasn't crying doesn't mean that he's not upset as well. But I think it's a case of someone like Samraj. I did really love him at the start, but I think he was just getting very, very verbal towards Jazz, and he can obviously tell she's upset at what she's just seen, and maybe it's a time and place to have a conversation, and it shouldn't have been there.
I mean, Finley made the point. It was between Jazz and Cavan, and they were trying to talk. And at this point, Jazz wasn't crying. She was shouting, giving gun fingers. She'd stopped crying at that point, and the girls were still then chiming in. So I get it, when she can't speak, they'll speak for her. Yeah. But she was talking at that point, and it was, again, the backup dancers ad-libbing in the background. But as soon as one of the boys spoke, all of them were on the boys. And I think Finley's a pretty good voice of reason. Samraj used to be our voice of reason, not anymore. But he said, why can we not give our perspective too? And the boys were saying, we've been with him through this experience the same way you've been with Jazz when she was doing her Casa experience. We want to be vocal about it. It just comes down to that double standard again with the boys and the girls in the villa. Whether you agree with that or not, the boys feel like there's a double standard there and they're not allowed to back their friends.
They've been saying this for weeks.
They have.
It's not just coming out of nowhere. And it's not a matter of who's right and who's wrong. Everyone's obviously going to support their friends when they're going through it.
I mean, this was quite a depressing episode to watch.
Literally.
So that was a lot of people's feelings who got hurt. I mean, we saw Charlene getting emotional as well. Because I think for her, it's obviously really hard. She's coming to this new environment and she probably feels really rejected from Cav and probably confused at the same time. But I think what Cav needs to do now is just make his intentions clear. If it's a case of he still wants to get to know Jazz and also Charlene, then he needs to be open about that. And he also needs to give them both the time of day. But if it's just Jazz he's tunnel visioning for, then I don't know why he should be entertaining chats with Charlene.
Well, what I will say is, not this episode, but yesterday's episode, Charlene and Cav had a conversation. They said maybe we were too hasty, and he went to go and try and speak to Jazz, and it was Jazz who said, I don't want to speak to you right now. Lo and behold, movie night text come through. I just feel like they didn't get to have that conversation, but he did try and go and speak to her about it.
I don't think the triangle is an option. Jazz isn't going to go for that. She already said, it's a me or nothing kind of thing. And I see where she's coming from in that sense, but then there's still Charlene involved. I think this is a a triangle of hurt people. Because you can say Jazz hurt Cav, but then Cav hurt Jazz and Charlene. Like, it's just not ending up well for any of them.
No, it's a really, really messy situation. But I think Cav and Jazz need to have a really, really honest, raw conversation with each other, because I think from what we've seen, like Jazz said it herself, like she doesn't cry that much. And to see her this upset kind of just shows like there was something real between those two. But I feel like with Cav, I think he's wanted to sort of have his cake and eat it. He's wanted to explore things with Charlene, but I don't know why. I just can feel him always kind of coming back to Jazz at the end of the day. I don't think his story with her is over yet.
Well, then he needs to cut it off with Charlene because
Yeah.
it's not fair to her either.
Are Cav and Charlene running it back? Charlene says she's been very patient. Has she been too patient? Should she maybe have fought for what she wanted a little bit more? I think he was open to getting to know her again. Maybe he was a bit hasty shutting it down. And I think it was because Jazz gave him the ultimatum, me or nothing. And now I think that he's seen the movie night clips. Again, it's reaffirmed his paranoia that he had about the whole affair situation. And maybe it's just going to send him back to Charlene.
In Charlene's perfect world, that's like what she would want. But I don't know at this point because she hasn't really made that effort, that same effort that Jazz is making. Like, I want it to be you. I'm in love with you. Getting upset in front of everyone. But I don't know. I don't know what Cav is going to do.
It's really weird because it kind of did seem like they were running it back. I mean, he made a point of, well, she asked him, okay, like, do you not want to share a bed with me because you want to be fair to everyone, or like what's the situation with that? And he was like, oh no, we could share a bed, but you know, it won't be respectful if we kiss and cuddle. And then like you could just tell they had this moment of eye contact, and then she was like, oh, like, you don't think we'll do that type of thing. So I think I do think there is still something there, but at the same time, I just don't really know if that connection compares to the one he has with Jazz. But it's all become very, very confusing. And maybe Cav kind of just wants to get his look back now after watching the clips with the whole Jordan plan as well. Like, that was a big thing that I don't think he knew about.
No, I don't think he had any. I mean, he kind of had an idea. Like, Jazz did tell everybody else what her
Yeah.
plan was, but now that whole plan has just been, like, brushed under the rug.
It's been voided.
Well, this is the problem because Jazz is very entitled to be upset, but so is Cav. And I'm not saying one more than the other,
Yeah.
But again, there's a huge issue in their relationship where she's very dismissive towards him. Like, people say Jazz is allergic to accountability. And she's saying, oh, I'm sorry to everyone else except Cav, and vice versa. Like, he's not gone and apologised to her. I think they've avoided each other like the plague. They need to work on their communication and to actually resolve things, because brushing things under the carpet, dismissing things, you're not getting anywhere. It's just pent up anger, and it explodes in these environments when movie night happens. And then we're back at square one again. Jasmine's crying. Charlene's upset. Cav don't know where his head's at. It's not healthy for anyone.
Well, speaking of brushing things under the carpet, I think the way that Priya has handled everything, she's been very cool, calm, and collected. But at the same time, I think she's more upset than what she's letting on. And I think she doesn't want to pop off at the girls because the girls are so tight knit. And I think because she's so hyper aware of how people are perceiving her, like on telly, I think that's why she's not actually being like, actually, I think what you've done is wrong.
I think she also read the room a little bit. I think if Jasmine wasn't as emotional and upset as she was, she would have had more of a conversation with her rather than the passing upstairs chair chat. Because she did sit Mika and Samraj down, but I think, again, she doesn't want to let them know that it's bothered her too much. But be vulnerable, like, let them know and tell them a bit about themselves. She handled it so calmly. I wanted her to pop off and say, no, you really fucking hurt me and it's not acceptable.
I could actually never. The way I would rip them a new one, because how dare you sit there and say that you're my friend when you talk shit about me, you let other people talk shit about me and don't tell me.
Plan things behind my back, plot.
Like, Priya has been the number one victim in this entire villa situation. I feel so awful for her, and I really wish she would have reacted way bigger than what we saw. But it's sad because if you don't give people like that fire, they're probably going to do it again.
And I think the thing is with Jasmine and Mika, they're great friends to each other. We see time and time again, like, they're there for each other. They keep each other's secrets. They have a little gossip together. Priya there's a duo within the trio, and she's just that outsider who isn't really included in that. And I think she doesn't really have anyone else in there. Like, Ellie and Yaz are very close friends. So it's either Jazz and Mika or nothing.
I think with Priya, it's a thing of like, she said it herself, she feels embarrassed. And I think for her, it's kind of a thing of, I don't know if it's like shame or whatever, but I think she doesn't want to pop off because it's like a situation that like she doesn't want to talk about, if you know what I mean. Like she's probably watched that and everyone in the villa has watched that with her. And she's probably thinking, oh my God, I feel so embarrassed. Like I don't even want to speak about, I don't even want to give this any more energy than what's been shown.
I have to give her flowers, though, because in the beach hut, what she said stuck with me specifically. She said, I'll never call someone an ick again because now I know how that feels. She's not crashing out and getting angry. She's, like, learning from where not only she's went wrong, but everyone else around her. Like, poor Priya, man.
I think we'll probably see a little bit of a shift maybe with the girls' dynamics, because I think so far up until this point it's been a case of everyone's been at peace, everyone kind of gets along with each other. But I think now after watching that in 4K, I think Priya's definitely going to have her wits about her.
Those ain't your
Think
friends.
so. I actually
You
don't
don't
think
think?
so. No, I think she'll run straight back to them, which is really disappointing. And I hope she had a little bit more respect for herself. Because like you have to have respect for yourself within friendships too, and you have to set boundaries, and they crossed a boundary, a huge boundary, and they all pleased each other on girls, girl code, none of that applied to Priya, and I hope she finds better friends in there.
Not even just better friends, a better man. Because
God.
Jordan just got away with...
I don't even count them as a couple in my head.
No, they're not.
He's just like there for decoration. Like I do forget that
He can
he
go
actually
home.
exists. Yeah, he can go home.
He can
He
leave.
can go home.
Because, I don't know, Priya, again, wasn't angry with him, was kind of just like, yeah, this sucks, but we're in a couple together, and
She did ask for some space. She said, I'm just going to gather my thoughts. We can still get to know each other, but I just want to be alone, which is really sad because she hasn't got anyone to lean on. She's been dicked over by the guy she's seeing, the guy she used to see, and her two friends. So who does she have to lean on?
us.
Oh, we love you, Priya.
We've been obsessing over the Villa Fits all series, and now we want to hear from you.
So head over to the Love Island app, scroll to find the poll in your feed, and vote for your favourite pre-loved look.
We've got the rat and boa blouse that Lola served in her first date with Sean. I love the way she styled it.
The Nike Dunks. Sean rocked these kicks all the way back in episode 3. Looking very stylish there, Fitzy.
The retrofit crop top, styled by Jess and Lucinda on All Star Season 3, adds the perfect amount of sparkle to any fit.
And a stunning meshki top and skirt co-ord. Go check it out.
Cast your vote now and tune in next week where we'll reveal the winning look and how you can bag the fit yourself.
Find your next Villa-inspired, authentic pre-love piece on eBay. Sponsors of Love Island.
Did Sean get away with things too easily?
I think Sean said it himself.
Yeah.
Sean was more disgusted with himself than Lola was with him. That's the part that killed me. Even when she was sitting there like, no, it's fine. He was sitting there like,
I'm disgusted.
Disgusted. I didn't enjoy that at all. And Yudi's like, yeah, we could tell.
I don't know. It's just like, no matter what Sean did, Lola was always going to say, it's fine, we're in love.
I think her excuse is because he's already told her what's happened. But at the same time, like, even watching it, you could tell, like, Yaz is really close with Lola. Ellie's really close with Lola. And even they were like, babe, like, that's, like, so disrespectful.
They wanted her to pop off.
Yeah.
It's like, we remember in Casa, when that had happened, she was really overthinking it. So why she let all that energy go, even if your man is saying to your face, that was really bad. And I think he majorly downplayed it. Like, that was way worse than what he told her.
Sometimes it gets to a point in there, though, where you're just like, done. You don't want to talk about it anymore. So I'll give her grace in that sense, where it's like, if you've already had the conversation, which they have, you don't want to argue in front of everyone again.
Yeah, but you don't have to argue, but you can hold them accountable.
Oh, yeah.
You can love someone and still hold them accountable. They can coexist. Like, you can say that's a boundary. Please don't ever let that happen again. Because she was upset about it. I don't
Yeah.
know why she's completely let that slide. She felt disrespected. She wasn't doing anything in that challenge. She could just say, you know what, I'm not happy about it. We're not going to argue about it. Please don't do that again.
He's just like a bit of a golden boy though, because even in a lot of the previous challenges, he sort of acted like a saint, if you know what I mean. I think that's why this is probably like a bit of a shock to everyone, because in every challenge, you know, he won't kiss on the lips, he'll peck on the cheek and
But
all that
Lola
sort of
made
stuff.
that point. She said, you don't do it when I'm here, so why are you doing it over there? Like, you wouldn't do it in front of my face.
Yeah.
And I think that was key. So I don't know why she's not popped off at him for that. Or even just had the conversation.
I think he gives in to what the boys told him to do. There was a lot of pressure on him to, like, try to explore, blah, blah, blah. But we know that Lola was always going to be loyal and still would be.
Yeah.
So even if they did have the conversation, we know she's not going anywhere.
No, she'll still obviously be with him, but at the same time, I think it's a case of like she should just stand up for herself a bit more.
Oh, yeah,
like, you don't need to let
absolutely.
yourself be a doormat.
And you also don't need to give all that heat to Yulia.
Oh yeah,
And
no, that was
she
uncalled for.
needs an apology, especially from Sean too, because if he thinks his behaviour is so disgusting, then he should have stuck up for Yulia and say, yeah, we were flirting, I did pick her up, I did kiss her for more than 3 seconds.
Nah, Sean saying that he didn't enjoy that is crazy.
One person that is, I think he's done a full 360 in that villa is Simba.
180.
What is that? What it is?
Yes.
Wait, am I dumb? It's not 360.
No, it's 180.
Oh, yeah.
360 would be getting you back to where you...
Oh, right, okay. A 180 is Simba. I think this is the start of his redemption arc. I think this is where we see a behavior change, we see different actions, we see real groveling, and I think this is like him being a changed man.
If he could get away with the triangle, I think he would. But now he's realized Angie is who he wants, and he's apparently going to do everything, even shed a tear to get her back.
I mean, he keeps asking Angie, do you want this? Do you want this? And where she's not saying yes, she's also not being dismissive of it. She's just saying, I don't know what I want right now. I don't know if I can trust you. But she's not completely called it off with him.
But that's the problem, trust. Trust is gone, and
Trust is huge.
That's the foundation of a relationship, and that's completely thrown out of the window, and so be it at this point. But Angie's going to go back to him, unfortunately.
She hasn't really got any other options, but she did say it herself, like, she hasn't actually properly liked someone in years. So I think how she's feeling now is like, she's obviously been scared because she's been disrespected and again by Simba. But at the same time, I think she's holding on to that feeling of, well, like Mara seems to think Simba and Angie are in love with each other. And I think they are too. I think it's just a case of they need to have better communication. Simba's actions need to change. And at the same time, Angie needs to hold him accountable for what he's done.
Simba's even questioning himself, and I'm pretty sure he said, if I love her, why did I act like that? How could I do that? So he's finally looking deeper within himself and all the times he's fucked up. Oh, that man.
I mean, that bit where he was talking to Samraj and it was like they were both crying. I was like, what is going on? What's in the air at the moment in Mallorca? Like, what is going on?
Very emotional.
Everyone's very emotional.
I mean, I really liked that Lorenzo was there for Angie. Maybe his advice wasn't the best, but one takeaway that, I mean, me personally in the villa, I had to constantly battle between heart and pride. And the Love Island villa isn't the place where you let pride win all the time. If you've really got strong feelings for someone and the only thing you're thinking about is other people's perception of you and how it might change, the only person who's losing is yourself. And that's it. If she wants Simba and she wants to make it work with him, that's on her and that's on them to figure it out. You can't think about what other people are going to think of you because you're the one who will suffer.
Well, Lorenzo said specifically, who cares what we think? I don't think it's just about the people in the villa. I think it's all the millions of people that are watching. Like, don't forget, Angelisa's family is watching and is probably heartbroken for her. Mm-hmm. And then for him to do it so many times repeatedly, she has to think, am I doing this to myself at this point? If she takes him back again, is he finally going to behave after all this time?
It's really hard because I do feel like in there, it's a case of like they were never exclusive. So then it's sort of like, well, he's allowed to explore and he's allowed to have connections. I think at the same time, if there were any guys in there that Angie fancied, I think she would have been well within her right to explore that as well. But I think for Simba, it was a case of he had had multiple connections and she just didn't have any. But at the same time, that's not exactly just on him, if that makes sense. Like, the whole point of Love Island is to explore multiple connections with multiple different people. But I think where he's always snapped back to Angie and they've always just been drawn to each other, I think now we'll sort of see, I don't know, I think it'll be a bit less rocky from now.
I'm going to correct you there because, yes, the point is to explore, but once you explore and then come crying and saying, no, it was always you, God put you in my life, it's not exploring then. You already know what you want. Stand on it.
As much as we have a giggle about Simba's theatrics and dramaticness, I think he actually is learning things about himself. We laugh when he's like, oh, this is a journey, it's a journey. But it is for him. You'd think at his big age he would have figured it out by now that his actions have consequences and that he's hurting people. But it feels like the penny has just dropped. I mean, he spoke to Mara saying, my ex told me sometimes you have to put everyone's feelings before yourself. And maybe that's a lesson he's finally learning.
It's harder too watching it. I said it earlier, but like once you see yourself on that screen, it's like the weirdest out-of-body experience because it's Amnesia Island. It always has been. People literally forget what they do days prior, and then you see it, and the tapes are ran back, and the truth is out. That's why he's finally realizing.
I also think it's really interesting, from my perspective, how you think things have played out in your head or how you've said it, and then when you watch it, you're like, oh, oh.
Did I do that?
Like, and Simba was like, what? I never knew that. But he's finally seeing the consequences of his actions in 4K.
Also, him and Angie are different from the Cav and Jazz situation because Angie has been loyal to a T this entire time. So now Simba's like, fuck, I have this, you can't really say perfect, anyone's perfect, but I have this loyal ass girl sitting right in front of me and he's fucked her over and over and over again.
It was nice to see Mara and Simba finally reconcile and have a calm conversation. I think she got the closure she needed. They hugged it out. I think they can maybe form a friendship now, but I think that's it for Mara. I don't think there's anything else in there for her at the minute.
Unfortunately, I don't.
It's really
either.
hard. I kind of wish she was an OG because I think she's like a depiction of a perfect islander in my opinion. But it was actually really funny how they hugged it out, and I'm like, it's nice to see she's letting him touch her now. No air fist bumps around here.
We did see the girls have a conversation after Simba and Mara's conversation talking about love and love should be easy. Yulia sort of said, well, life isn't easy. You know, love can be challenging sometimes. What do you think about that?
I think love in the villa should be easy. It's supposed to be the honeymoon period. And we've seen so many of the couples have so many issues early on. And it's like, I don't know. Love isn't easy. It's not, but in there, I feel like it almost should be easier because in the outside world, I promise you, it's 10,000 times harder.
I don't know, but I do feel like the whole concept of Love Island and the tests and the challenges is to sort of replicate that in a really short amount of time and to see if you can build on something and come out of things stronger. I don't always think love is easy. Like, I look at my parents, they choose each other every day. They've been married 25 years. Like, everyone has their ups and downs, but they still constantly choose each other. And it's for life. If you want to be with this person for the rest of your life, you're going to have to start doing that.
Well, I think that was obviously a really heavy episode. There was a lot of tears, but I think hopefully tomorrow things will be a little bit better. People can have actual conversations and resolutions from there.
Movie night is always very emotional. So like you say, let's just bring the zen, try and communicate better and get this resolved.
I want to see some smiles on people's faces tomorrow, and we'll be here to talk about it. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye.